Hi guys, welcome back to the Girl Talk podcast. It's your girl Pi, and today we are back with another special episode. Today's episode will be part 2 of reacting to crazy Am I the Asshole stories on Reddit. Since you guys loved the previous episodes, and I noticed it because the views were up more compared to the other regular podcast episodes, so I thought it would be fun to make part 2, and also because I enjoyed it very much last time. So without further ado, let's get started. Am I the asshole for being blunt with my boyfriend about why he isn't getting hired anywhere? I, 26F, have been with my boyfriend, 29M, since 2024. We met online, and after a few years of friendship, he had gotten an insurance payout and decided to move to my state for a few months. Well, a few months turned into a couple of years, and the insurance money had run out. Previous to the insurance payout, he had helped his dad with his landscaping business and had had a few short-term jobs, pizza shops, serving, etc. But no job lasted longer than a year. Once he ran out of insurance money, he began to search for jobs. He quickly became frustrated because nobody was getting back to him. He would often threaten to give up and go move back in with his parents. I am an HR manager and hire people for my company on a regular basis. I took a look at his resume and explained that no one was going to hire a 29-year-old who had less than 5 full years of work experience with years of gaps between jobs. He argued that he was applying for entry-level positions, and I had explained that his age would be the downfall. It doesn't matter if it's entry level, a 29-year-old not holding a job is a bad look. He is now stating that I am insensitive and make him feel like shit for not being able to contribute enough to our house. Though I have only asked him to help with groceries, I take care of the rest of the house bills. Admittedly, I think I could have addressed it in a softer manner, but I definitely let my personal feelings get in the way. I love him to death, but feel it's ridiculous that he lived off his parents for as long as he did with no independence. So, am I the asshole? Edit. For some added context, I did help him work through his resume. The initial conversation had stopped at "this is the issue" because he had become too upset to let me help in the moment. It took a couple of hours, but eventually we were able to sit down and fluff it up, so to say. Girl, I don't think you are the asshole because of many reasons. First of all, like, they live together and it looks like she's the one paying for everything and she just asked him to pay for like groceries. So why is he living rent-free, food-free in your house? I assume. Yeah, it is her house. Second of all, yeah, she gave her opinion from a professional point of view. She said she's an HR manager, and yeah, a 29-year-old without experience like isn't going to get easily hired for a job. And third of all, she admitted and she like said that she felt bad and like she should have addressed it in a way that's better, like in a softer manner. But she admitted her like that her way of addressing it should have been better maybe. But overall, I don't think you're the asshole in this situation, and your boyfriend is just being a man-child. Yeah, the next story. Am I the asshole? My friend thinks I'm just using her for her dishwasher. Hi, so for context, I, 21F, recently became, I would say, good friends with this girl, 24F, I used to work with. We were work buddies, but when I got let go, she said she missed me and wanted to hang out properly, which I was so happy about. One night I had dinner at her house and offered to help clean up, but she said it's okay because she has a dishwasher, which honestly I was so relieved about because I hate washing up. It just makes my brain and my hands feel horrible and scratchy. Anyways, later on, we were pretty drunk, so I let this slip out and also mentioned how my dishwasher at home is broken because of mold related issue. She laughed and then jokingly I was like, "Hey, maybe I can use your dishwasher." And she said sure. So next time I came over, I brought some of my dirty plates, obviously rinsed, and mugs and cutlery, my least favorite to wash, in a plastic bag, and she was like, okay. And after dinner, I put my stuff in there along with her things. I thought this is so great, what a relief, and I thanked her profusely. The next week I came over, I did it again. But then she was kind of weird and cold with me the rest of the evening. And then, lo and behold, the next morning she texts me to say that it's weird that I've been doing what I've been doing and that it's not something you do. And she feels like I'm just taking advantage of her dishwasher. And that honestly just made me mad and upset because I'm obviously not using her for her dishwasher. I see her as a close friend who I love spending time with. So I refused to apologize and said that she needs to accept me for who I am. But since then, she hasn't been talking to me, so I'm wondering if I made a mistake or I'm seeing this all wrong. Uh, I don't know where to start. At first, I was like, no, you're not the asshole. But then, as I was reading more and more, I'm like, yeah, you're the asshole in this situation. Like, to be honest, if it was just the part of uh, tr- like being bothered by doing the dishes, so you just ask your friend nicely to use her dishwasher, you wouldn't be the asshole. Uh, but then again, your friend, that's her dishwasher. Um, Obviously, she has the right to like refuse or accept. But then here, when she said like she needs to accept me for who I am, like the fuck, that's her, that's her dishwasher. She has personal choice, personal opinions, personal, I don't know, boundaries. You're overreacting in this case. Next story. Am I the asshole for refusing to accept blame for my stepsister's accent? My parents are divorced and they have me, 16M, as their only child. My dad's still single, but my mom's married again. Her husband has a 10-year-old daughter, so my stepsister. I split time equally between parents. Uh, I'm at my mom's house for a week and then I go home to dad on the other week. And I switch back over. My relationship with dad is better. Mom's always been a little too demanding. One thing that has pissed people off is she texts me during school and expects me to answer. She asks me to do stuff for her and I could be in the middle of class. My dad and most of my teachers encouraged me to let her know my phone was going on silent until I was finished for the day and I started doing it. My mom even called my school before to say that they need to get me to text her back or call her, and I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Stuff she'll ask is for me to pick up milk at the store on my way home, or to pick up takeout that she ordered, and since she got married again, it might be to walk my stepsister home from school or to take her somewhere. I don't drive, so mom gets me to do it walking. She even made me stand outside my stepsister's basketball practice for an hour once because she insisted I had to go and pick her up before going to her house. Back in April, I had after school stuff and kept my phone on silent and didn't check because I didn't want to deal with mom saying she needed me to pick up something or whatever. When I was finished, I saw mom had texted and said I needed to pick up my sister from some Girl Scout slash camping thing. Then there was a call I missed and a voice note where mom was screaming at me because they got a call that my stepsister had been knocked down by a bike and was at the hospital. I get to mom's house and nobody's there, so I just do my homework and wait. Mom gets home a few hours later and tells me my stepsister walked on her own because nobody came to pick her up and she wasn't being careful and got run over, and that she was too young to walk alone. I told mom it wasn't my fault, and it made mom blow a fuse because she thought I should feel more bad or whatever. We argued over how she knows I have after school stuff, and she said family should take priority over any stuff. She chewed dad out for siding with the school on the phone thing, and he chewed her out for blaming me. Now, every time I'm at her house, we fight, and she told me I should be ashamed for my lack of feeling bad. Her husband is 100% on her side, and he's an ass anyway, so that doesn't surprise me. My stepsister broke one of her legs, and she has damage done to her other knee, and it's likely a long term slash forever thing. But I don't feel like it's my fault when I never agreed to pick her up. They just didn't plan better. My mom keeps saying it's disgusting that I keep defending myself over this. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. And once again, I feel like this is another case of child adults. Like that's her child that got hurt, and instead of like taking the responsibility, uh, like she like put it all on him, and even and like let's it clearly says that he didn't pick up the call nor did he respond to the text. So he clearly did not take onto that responsibility that she expects him to do. However, even if it was, even if he did go and pick up the stepsister, I don't think she has the right to blame him, like because he's still a minor and that's still her kid, and it was clearly an accident. So yeah, you're not the asshole in this case. Next story. Am I the asshole for refusing to go to dinner after my parents invited my sister and her kids? I, 20 and was supposed to go for a meal with my parents today. Just the three of us. I don't often get to spend a lot of time with them, both because my dad is pretty busy with work, so I was looking forward to it, and also because they were taking me to my favorite restaurant. This morning, my mother casually told me that she invited my sister and by default her kids too. And of course, she said yes because she will take any opportunity to dine for free. My mother told me this like it was no big deal and I would have no reaction to it. I don't particularly enjoy my sister's company, but it's bearable. So I wouldn't have a problem going to a restaurant with her, but I would be annoyed. My niece, on the other hand, is a different story. My sister has two kids, ages a few months and 3. The baby is fine because she can't walk or talk, but my older niece is feral, and I would never invite her anywhere I know I would be, because she is not pleasant to be around. Being in public with her in general is a disaster. But I have been in restaurants with her a couple of times, and it has been a nightmare every time. She doesn't stay in her seat and runs around. She sticks her fingers in glasses. She doesn't even eat the food most of the time. And she whines nonstop. And it's embarrassing because no one wants to be at the table with an unruly child. I told my mother that I thought it was just us three, and she said she decided to invite them because it would be nice for them. I said I don't want them there and that my niece would ruin it. And she said she couldn't exactly tell them not to come after inviting them and that I need to stop complaining because it will be fine. Being at a table with my niece is a terrible experience and generally would ruin the meal. So I told her I didn't want to go anymore. She thought I was joking, but I told her I wasn't and that if they want to go to dinner with my sister, it's fine, but I'm not going. And she said I was being ridiculous. I don't think you're the asshole in this situation because speaking from the point of view of someone who dealt with annoying kids, it genuinely is not something that you can control, especially when the parent is like one of those parents doing the gentle parenting stuff and like not even trying to discipline the child. And it is genuinely so annoying and it's not something that you can stand or like try to like ignore and like try to forget or something. It's genuinely annoying. So yeah, I don't think you're the asshole. Moving on. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to dress more sensibly on a walk? My girlfriend and I, both 30, go on this trail by the river sometimes. It is about an hour each way, and most people are in casual or sporty clothes. The first few times we did it, she wore a maxi skirt and high heels, and I feel like it was really out of place. I told her after the last time that next time she should dress more sensibly. She claimed it was fine, but it is really out of place. And even if she won't admit it, she definitely struggles, particularly at the end of the trail where it is not paved. Everyone looks at her and she even gets a few comments, especially about the shoes, so I wonder if she does it for attention. We went again recently and she showed up in the same type of outfit, long skirt, heels, clicking on the ground, makeup done like we were going to dinner instead of a walk. I felt embarrassed walking next to her because everyone else was in athletic clothes and she stood out. I reminded her that I had already asked her not to dress like that for this specific activity. She told me I was being controlling and that she can wear whatever she wants. I feel like she is deliberately ignoring what I said, but at the same time, I do not think it is unreasonable to expect her to fit the setting. Am I the asshole for saying something? So, I've read the comments under this post, and most of them are, or like all of them are talking about this thing about being controlling or like her wanting to prove herself or like it's all about control. But nobody talked about this specific thing or like the way I viewed this story. So it looks like they have been together for like a long time, I assume, because you don't just go on like regular walks with someone that you have been dating recently. I don't think so. And when when you're dating someone for a long time, obviously you're gonna get comfortable with them and you won't have this need to like dress like dress up like makeup, clothes, hair every time you meet up with them. But you would on special occasions, right? So my opinion on this is that the girlfriend thinks of these walks as this kind of like romantic experience where she gets to like talk like and look at the river with her boyfriend and stuff. She clearly enjoys it. And that's why she chooses to dress up, even if it meant being uncomfortable. So yeah, I think I don't think you're the asshole for saying something, but at the same time, you should be like try to be understandable if that was her choice. If she chose to dress like that, there's nothing in particular you can do. Plus, you should care less about what other people think. Like as long as your girlfriend feels great about wearing what she wants, I don't think people's opinions matter. So instead of like asking her to change, ask her like genuinely tell her like, do you like not get her from the walking with the heels, or like does it not bother you with the wind and the maxi skirt or like the dress, and genuinely hear her opinion, and probably she will open up of about why she dresses like that. But like yeah, like instead of directly going into saying like you shouldn't dress like that or like it bothers me, just ask her about what she cares about, what she thinks, and why she does that. Moving on. Okay, so am I the asshole for refusing to help with my nieces until my brother and sister-in-law take my younger niece to a doctor? I have two nieces. Eloise is 7 and Harper is 5. I work from home and I have the most flexible schedule, so I handle school pickup for the girls. I'm the first point of contact for the school, and I've been chaperoning on field trips lately. Eloise was diagnosed with anxiety and her mom claims she has severe ADHD, which hasn't been diagnosed. Eloise is a completely normal 7-year-old. Harper, on the other hand, has some type of severe attention disorder and probably a stomach issue. I am called to pick her up at least once a week because of diarrhea. She wears pull ups at school due to frequent poop accidents. Her classroom has 21 students and 3 teachers, and one of those teachers has been unofficially assigned to be Harper's one to one because she constantly wanders off. She doesn't respond when you call her. She's oblivious to everything around her. She doesn't share. She will move through groups of people almost without realizing they're with or let her sit in the teacher's lap. She is not allowed on field trips unless either I or one of her parents come with her. Her school's developmental specialist has come in to observe her and try to get her to participate with the rest of uh, the the class, or even just sit down long enough to eat her snack or lunch, with no success. Despite all of this, Harper is reading at a second grade level and doing math at a first grade level. Harper has been kicked out of 2 preschools because they can't handle her, and even this current school that has assigned a one-to-one and has a developmental specialist, psychologist, and an OT on staff is starting to say that this might not be the best environment for Harper. Harper is the same way at home. She forgets to drink water. She doesn't think to eat until you put food in front of her. Every exterior door and window has child locks and has an alarm because of her tendency to wander off. The majority of my cabinets have multiple child locks because she figured out how to get through them. She wears a leash in public because of the number of times her parents and I have lost her in the store. Last week was the straw that broke the camel's back. Harper was sent home from school for repeated attempts to climb the fence and for running away during circle time and getting into the art supplies that were set aside for later. And at my house, her tummy was bothering her, so she wanted to be held all the time, meaning I couldn't work until she was picked up. When my mother came to when my brother came to pick up the girls, I told him I couldn't do this anymore and that I will not take care of the girls or do anything for school until Harper sees a doctor for all of her issues. My brother still insists that Harper is fine and that me refusing to help with no notice is screwing him over. I refuse to budge, and now I have family saying it's not my place to demand that he takes her to a doctor. Many updates. I picked up the girls yesterday so I could explain what was going to happen and that it was not their fault, and spoke to their schools about not contacting me unless it's an emergency and they can't get a hold of their parents. Okay, let me get back up because the story pissed me off. It genuinely pissed me off, and nothing pisses me off more than careless parents who have children. Man child and woman child having children. Uh, like, it's not even about like ignorance or like not being aware or like not educated enough. Like, they clearly have a knowledge about disorders and like being diagnosed with them from a young age because of their other daughter, but it 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 happens. Like, parents have favorites and they choose, and it clearly shows that they choose to ignore and choose to favor one or the other child. So no, you're not the asshole. And I think that the pressure that this like brother-in-law had on the family is exactly the kind of wake-up call that they sometimes need, because these kind of people are people who will use you for what they need. And once you put the boundary and you set the standard of like not not willing to help them anymore, that's where they start questioning themselves. What can I do to get back what I used to get? So yeah, I don't think you're the asshole. So as always, don't forget guys to like and subscribe and let me know your opinion on each of these stories, because as always I would love to hear it. And if anything, I would be more than happy to, like, if you have an opposing opinion to mine, I would be more than happy to like settle a quick debate in the comment section. And yeah, that's it for this week's episodes, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.